Okay, hi everyone. Oh wait, this is private. I should have done it public. Eep, eep. Let's see. There we go. Public. Done. There we go. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to my channel. Let us just put on some lip gloss. I said cock. Lol. Coconut oil. Yeah. So, that was a funny way to start. Um, So welcome to my channel. If you've never been here before, then I feel like I should be doing an intro now. Now that I'm going to be doing more common videos, and I'm going to be posting edited and basically I'll be working on some videos for my channel that are going to be like not live because I was only starting out live so that I can actually get like my progress going because I am quite slow to pick up. But once we pick up, I have some tasty, delicious content for you guys to, meld your minds together and reform because MK Ultra kind of melted everyone's brains with just the amount of reverse psychology information that they gave. But hey, I always like to take advantage of every moment. So if everybody's brain is melted, I will take this advantage to do some little alchemy, so that you guys can form your brains again, at least for yourselves. And we can actually work on programming our minds and programming it so that we can follow our intuition, follow our highest guidance, and follow the highest good of all greatest. So, oh, I actually don't have my crystal. Let me grab it. Okay. So, today, I wanted to talk about cultural combination. So there's been a lot of stuff going on around the world about cultural appropriation. I don't like that word. I don't even like putting those two things together. Cultural appropriation, first of all. Let me just look up what appropriation means real quick so that we can do this because I just don't think that we should be putting those two words together. Yeah, take possession or take exclusively. So when it comes to exclusivity of culture, there's no such thing. We all come from the source. So culture is only based on personal history and bloodline history. So if you know your bloodline, you know your history, then that is literally your culture. That is your groundwork. That is what you should be working on. And I will be going through my cultural awakening very soon because, like I said, on my other videos, I had been extremely oppressed my entire life, like extremely. So now I'll be going through my cultural awakening very soon because I had my spiritual awakening, and I'm putting my spirit and culture together so that I can be able to put these two combinations at once so that I can really fully form myself into the being that I am and at least try and continue towards my evolutionary path and journey. So I'm super excited. So this reading, and it is going to be a reading, is going to be based on just what spirit is going to be giving us knowledge on, and then it's going to be later on crown chakra work and working on memories and working on certain stories. So we'll be asking the divine and divine guidance on saying stories. I do have a lot of stories already, my personal stories, which I will be writing down. I will be making a lot of just a lot of content, a lot of books that I'll be writing. So if you are interested in that and you are interested in my art and stuff, so this is just a little snippet of my art. I do have everything in my bio and I have everything inside my about page as well. And if you're interested, just leave a like, subscribe, and all that nonsense. So, first will be invoking spirit. I don't have a bowl. I would really like to have a bowl, so that I can just do a little thing and go ah. So crown, throat chakra work as well. So instead of working with those bowls as much as I love to, because I love the hearing the frequencies, just so you know, for everyone that actually does have a singing bowl, I would really encourage you to work on your ears and working on frequency ears, so elevating the way you hear frequencies. Um, Luckily for me, I come from a family of music, so we have like natural tones for hearing. So my mother can like tune a guitar, and she's never played a guitar before, and I'm just like, what? So when you hear those natural frequencies, you actually sing amongst those frequencies, which is why we don't want to be hearing a lot of like music of ragged tones. So even though I do listen to a lot of rock music, that's why my voice is so like when I speak. But if I change the frequency of my voice, yeah, I can be able to speak more softly and gently. See? And that literally works on how you fix your frequencies. So I probably already sound different. I don't know. This is for educated ears only. So let's see. Okay, so first things first is we shall go through the soul's journey um, tarot card deck, which is going to be talking about just whatever lessons that we need to learn today. And so, since this is going to be about culture, I would like to say that yes, I do come from all of cultures. I do have bloodlines from everywhere, including America, Asia, mostly African and European. Well, European, but what do you call it? Mostly African. And so I do have a combination of like most bloods, and that's why I was kind of just put up there a little bit just so that I could get my enlightening work faster, so that I could be able to help teach people. I am a natural teacher, so anytime people listen to me, they don't know that they're learning something, even when they're confused. I'm like, no, trust me, you are learning something. Your higher guides and higher powers are learning something. My higher guides and higher powers are always teaching me too, so I get super excited whenever I get a new lesson. And I will be getting upgrades very soon, so I'm just making sure that I get this live out before I go crazy in my room again, because I just recently cleaned everything and took care of everything, and now I'm gonna be taking like a salt bath, and oh my god, I don't even have like money right now. So right now I'm like kind of upgrading myself to be able to gain more money. Yeah. So we're talking about fear. So cultural appropriation and it's or cultural appropriation and where it's coming from. So if you know where you're from, which is why I always tell people to always do research on their bloodlines, do research, you will be amazed by what you find out about your bloodline, and especially Caucasians. If you are Caucasian, I understand. I understand that there is some sort of fear because there is no distinct knowledge on what you call it, on where you guys form from. And I know this is like going to be like you guys, but trust me, I'm denazifying this whole concept. So, yes, reptilians are a thing. Yes, they do come from the underground, and they did merge together with us. So it's a cultural combination. We kind of all, Earth is kind of a mixing pot of all the dimensions coming together, creating this fully formed God being, which is our higher selves and our higher powers, which then elevate themselves and elevate the conscious, mindset and whatnot. So when you have these reptilians, truly having fear, if they're incapable of releasing this fear, then they will die. There's nothing to do about that. That's kind of like the ego death of the century. These ego mindsets of fear will die and reform. Always remember that death is just the next stage towards a new beginning. So that's why suicide is like highly taboo, because only God can tell you when it's time for you to pass, and God is in control of that. And then you also have the angels of death that are in control of knowing like when what is supposed to happen. And so that's why we can't really escape death, and that's why people have a lot of fear. But that's why we have to release this so that we can be able to move forward within our culture. And for those of you who aren't aware of what culture means, it is like, a lot of people like to be like cult, but because think about it, you have culture, it starts with cult, so it gets really scary. But culture is actually a word that comes from when you like seed a plant and then you culture it, right? So you're almost grooming it, but except grooming, I don't like using that word either recently, just also out of fear. So I'm deprogramming my mind from my own personal grooming that I had from the wrong context, from this negative light that I had, or not negative light, but the darkness that I had on me. Because like I said, I was being oppressed, and that's a completely different type of grooming. We're talking about cultural growth. So when cultures combine, you always have some kind of internal conflict. So people who are mixed, for example, like I am, there's always like people Nazifying. So either like, oh, you're either black or you're either white or you're either Native American or la la la. The truth is, like I said, we all come from the source. So at the same time, we do have our own cultures, our own personal bloodline cultures. Not everyone is the same. Not everybody has those same qualities. And so that's why individuality is super important to humankind. Yes, we can unify, but at the same time, like I said, we're not all the same. We're not like ants, you know, like ants come from the same hive, from the same mother. They kind of just multiply. That's kind of like the hive mind mentality, which is kind of like very reptilian. But at the same time, like you have cultures that combine with other cultures. So like Arabian culture combined with Jewish culture, combined with what you call it, Indian culture. So I do have Indian within me as well, because in my former video where I was like, what is my ethnicity? I wasn't aware of just how mixed I was. I mean, I was pretty aware of how mixed I was back then, but now I'm like even more aware, and it's just kind of more and more shocking. For example, we have cultures that people are completely unaware of, like Lemurian cultures. So if you are aware of spirituality, I am Lemurian as well, and I do have like bloodlines from Lemuria, and I have bloodlines from, I forgot the other ones, but yeah, so like all these intergalactic species and stuff like that, I am also from those cultures, so that I'm really like just a big combination of all these things. It's really quite conflicting, let's just say. They contain a lot of so there's a lot of like talk on like how do you know what culture is yours and la la la. Well, that's why we have to look into our individuality and our natural formations, because that way we'll be able to really like take upon what is like truly not even ours, but what has been gifted to us. What kind of advantage do we have as humanity, as personals, and as individuals, to be able to follow upon our journey and our path? Let's see what else. So with fear, it is, I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. So when you have the energy of love, especially with 5D here right now, so if you are not in 5D already, then I don't know how you're watching this, but if you're in 5D and you're watching this, then congratulations on your elevation. I'm super happy about that. We're going to be elevating further and going through plenty of portals before we get, oh, 303 on the clock, I literally said. So we'll be going through a lot of portals so that we can be able to follow our journey, especially if you have ever been to the Grand Canyon. Oh my God, if you go to the Grand Canyon, wear some turquoise, because that is just energy beyond. But yeah, when you're living with the vibration of love, you almost can't see anyone as sick or hateful or evil, because that is not the vibration that exists after 5D. The vibration that exists after that is just confusion. So those are like lower energies. So you have like hate, fear, la 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 la, all that, and then you have love, and then underneath love, underneath way after hate, because hate is really low. So after like that, you have like confusion, and then right after that confusion, you break through the clarity, and then love, right? So that's why love is super important. And it's kind of like, for a lot of people, love is kind of like the star that they need to go through. For me, it's just going home. I just want to go home. I just want to go home. So let's see. Yeah, we have humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Yes, so we do have humor barriers breaking through. And I don't, if you're like a person who is very into the King James Bible, I would really suggest reading other Bibles that are within Christianity. If you weren't aware already, King James Bible is not the only Bible to exist. We also have the New Testament, the Old Testament, which is actually backwards. The Old Testament is actually the New Testament, and the New Testament is actually the Old Testament. See how confusion fucks you up? So yeah, that's why it's like, wait, you mean to say that we're living inside the time that's supposed to be great and amazing? Yes, that is what I mean. So we really need to be able to put it into perspective here, just how held back we've been by our mindset and false beliefs. Well, not even false beliefs, just really confusing, conflicting, and old beliefs. So when you focus on the lighter side of life, you're focusing not on toxic positivity. So it's not always like, oh, like, I don't even understand how to explain it to you, because I've never really had toxic positivity. So that's really a topic for another day. However, I do understand toxicity. So when you have a mind that's positive, right? You're not constantly trying to be like, trying to convince yourself that everything is good. When you have a positive mind, you're able to see the darkness and live within that space of the darkness, and be able to take in information that transmutes itself into light within your mind, that elevates yourself and your concept of living. Because at the same time, if you have a negative mindset and you're just constantly trying to convince yourself that everything is okay and you're fine, and you're getting beat the fuck up and you're like, this is fine, you know what I mean? Like that meme, it's like everything is on fire, it goes, this is fine. Like that is toxic. So you need to be able to see the darkness, acknowledge its existence, and then move forward with seeing the humor and the light, being like, oh wow, why am I here? You know, like I gotta learn this lesson and go, you know what I mean? So yeah, we have discipline, which is I can accomplish what I set my mind into. So discipline is a very is a very complicated topic. So discipline is like, so over the ages, we've been using this kind of harsh, authoritative way of giving ourselves discipline, and this is because the planet of order. So what one thing that really freaks me out is when people are like, God is the God of order, and I'm like, hold on there for a second, because Saturn is the planet of order. So when you're saying the god of order is like in Saturn, that's like, you know, Saturnus, which is the person who came here and kind of brought this masculine, authoritative, kind of strong conceptualization of imperialistic concepts. And I don't think you want to be praying to not the Most High, which is the one who created all of life and love and light and everything, because that is the source of all things, including order, including hate and love and everything. Okay, so everything was created from the light hitting upon the darkness that was caused, that darkness being chaos. So if you ever go through the concepts of light and dark and all that occultism, you find that there was chaos, and then there was light, and then combination, and then we have the creation of Earth and its planetary systems. But that does not mean that there is a source of all of this, right? There's a source of both light and dark, and that is the Most High and the good and all that stuff. And it's kind of like fascinating and amazing. And like I said, it's just a take it as it resonates. Do your own research. Like I said before, like you want to be able to really create like understand where your path is, where you lie within these planetary systems, so that you can like for example, the dark cannot defeat the light, only because the light is so strong that when it came upon the darkness, it created the rest of life and love and everything. So you see how that works. The light is everywhere, and God is everywhere, even in the dark. So you don't that's why I trust in God and I trust in the universe. Oh my God, it's making me all flushed. It's making me so happy. I'm almost like, I just want to sit here and just like give really big thanks and gratitude. towards all life and love. And oh my God, it's gonna make me cry. Okay, so yeah, with discipline isn't just a way of just beating you down, and just because you're being disciplined. So the concept of discipline was always correlated with punishment, which isn't what it is actually. I would really suggest everybody use the words individually. See, I know I can't force anybody to do this, but since you are speaking a language, since you are speaking and hearing words, each word has its own idea. Each word has its own origin. And so like a superhero, every single word has its own origin story. And so every single word has its own frequency and power. And that's why we cherish the word of God so much, is because these words are, some of them have been very illusioned, and a lot of them that have been disillusioned need to be understood as consecrated. A lot of these words are very powerful. For example, belief, right? Why is belief such a powerful word? Well, it has be in it, right? The concept of life within it also, but then it also has this illusion of lies. So you have an imagination right in the middle, an illusion covering and combining the fragment of being and life. Although it is an illusion, I just don't use it all the time. I will start using it soon because I feel like I'm old enough now, at least spiritually, to be able to use that word with good intentions. But before, it was really hard for me to use that word because it was like people would be like, "Oh, so you just believe in everything?" And I was just like, "That's not." And then it'd get me all confused and messed up because, well, I didn't know. And you either know or don't know. And at this point, I do have a lot of inner knowledge and inner wisdom. So yes, I will be using that word belief more. And so that's why I always say, like, when cultures meet and when they combine, you always need to you have to be able to realize the lighter side of it all, so that you can take yourself from this dark spot and dark concept into a lighter side, so that you can be able to free yourself of any burdens, so you can free yourself of any slave method or mentality, anything that's making you literally fall away from your journey. Because some people do need to enter this dark side, so that because they are from the light, sometimes they need to enter this dark side so that they can understand what it is inside their journey. But a lot of people also get lost in this darkness and kind of intake it way too personally and forget that they are a being of light. And then that's when all that whole demonic shit happens. And that's what I'm not saying we need to avoid it, but I'm trying to bring more wisdom so that we don't have to go through it all the time. But it is a journey. Everybody has to go through their individual journeys. That's why I recommend praying, so that we can really, take a step back. And someone like me, I'm mostly an observer. I learned most of my wisdom through observing, and then later when I came upon earth, I started experiencing what I truly wanted to experience, which makes me very happy. Like when I went to go get a job at Starbucks, my thing wasn't that I was trying to make money all the time. I just always wanted to work at Starbucks for some reason, and I never knew why. Like I always wanted to work at Hooters for some reason, and I never knew why. I wanted to do camming for a reason, and I didn't know why. Like it was just like certain things and certain paths that I wanted to take originally that made no sense to me, that maybe when I was younger I actually really didn't want to do, and I was really scared of doing those things. And it has taught me so much about our life and whatnot. So we have imagination, which is I embrace and nourish the creative aspects of my mind. So I'm still learning the concept of imagination. I'm still learning the concept of imagination. Even the word itself isn't rolling off my tongue properly because, like I said, I used to have aphantasia, or I do still. I'm struggling with aphantasia and the dark side and all that stuff. So whenever I do get to astrally see everything, because I'm basically blind in the astral realm and whatnot, I have blind faith in God and the universe. So I really I'm just like, thank you for protecting me. Please, thank you. Because I do, I'm still realizing the concept of imagination. But if you do have a good imagination, and if you don't have aphantasia and you're able to visualize concepts within your mind's eye and visualize concepts within your head, please leave a comment below and tell me about your experience in the astral world, astral realm and stuff like that, because that is super exciting to me. I love hearing stories about all of that. It makes me like super proud to be here, super excited to learn new things. Okay, and then we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind into. That is true. Our mind is the main programming center of our bodies, and so when we program our minds, which our body's already pre-programmed with our DNA and core DNAs, but we can continue to elevate those DNAs and continue to extend and elevate our genome types so that we can be able to really reach new heights. For example, have you ever wanted superpowers? Do you really know what a superpower is? I would say that a lot of the words have been confused, and so we do all have superpowers of some sort, but they're not actualized as concepts as superpowers. The only one that would really see things like clairvoyancy as a superpower are people who are not clairvoyant, and I wouldn't really put it on a pedestal, honestly. We are all clairvoyant to a degree, especially when your third eye is open. Then you will be able to have clairvoyancy, which just means a clear vision, right? So people who have ADHD often say like, I used to have a lot of ADHD back in the day. Now I'm getting to this discipline mind zone, which is kind of like I said, persevering, combination, cultural appropriation, all that stuff. So when you have ADHD, you're deficit in concentration and focus, but with discipline, if you teach yourself how to have discipline, if you teach your mind how to have discipline, you can essentially cure your ADHD. It doesn't have to be a situation that is real to you in concept. It can be very illusionary, actually, which is just like most things are illusionary inside this world. So, you know, I changed my ADHD and I used it as a form of power to understand what it truly stands for, what it truly means for me. And I moved it from that into clairvoyancy to realize my potential to have a clear vision, to see a clear path and whatnot. So let us pick one more card from this lesson. And it is courage. Yes, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Thereas facing our fears, once again, our fears that are trying to live within that energy, that 5D energy of love. And inner strength and inner courage really takes, man, it takes a lot. When you want to build inner strength, it's not just about like fighting your actual battles outside. A lot of the battles that build inner strength have to do with mental elevation. So people who often end up psychotic, so people who are like end up going crazy or insane, it's really only because of that mental strength that they're lacking to be able to bring things into understandings and ground them. So I would encourage everyone to really work on their grounding, on their root chakras, so they can truly like have a solid like spot like to really ground themselves on something really true and loving, like 5D energy, so that they can be able to like face that fear with confidence. And taking upon inner strength really takes also working on your solar plexus and combining that energy, like I said, when cultures combine, right? So we have to think about every single dimension of things as a culture of its own. So of its own history, of a self-existing history. And that means a combination of these things will be able to build that inner strength within you to be able to persevere, whatever you put your mind into. Alrighty then. Let's see. Oh my God. Time just flows so fast when I'm speaking. Like I feel like sometimes like time would just go so slow, and it's all because I'm quiet and my mind's not thinking and I'm just like working on tasks. But then I start speaking and all of a sudden 5 hours is gone and I'm like, oh my God, sound vibration. It's almost like it's all correlated and connected. Okay, let's see. That's why the more noise we have, the faster time goes. I wish people understood that. Okay, let's see. Spirit guides, ancient ancestors, guides, Holy Spirit. let's see what we have. Okay, so we have forgiveness heals. Ooh, yes, okay. We do have a lot of animosity for what happened in the past. It was very tragic. It was very tragic, very sad. We want to, oh, my thing is dying. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I always, my thing is always dying. My laptop's always dying every time I start doing these. I don't know why. So, yes. So we do have a lot of animosity for the things that happened in the past. Like nobody really likes Columbus because of what happened, but I promise you, Columbus probably woke up, really quickly and had a lot of, hate and resentment for what he did as well. So just like empathy. At that point, it's like, like shit happens kind of scenario. And that's why we always leave it up to the divine, leave it up to God to decide the judgment, the final judgment on these people and judgment on upon the earth. So that I mean, if people are still alive, they will be going through karma, which is why we have the law, is because well, that is human law and human rights, is so that people can feel like, so people can have a time out to be able to also learn their ways and actually stop doing what they're doing if it's like negative. You know what I mean? So forgiveness heals. It time to release repressed anger as it's blocking your health and happiness. So earlier in my other former streams, you'll probably see me going through a lot of downloads, a lot of changes. You'll see me going through just the craziest moments. And I honestly put it out there with courage so people can learn and know that it's normal. It is okay. Like, you don't have to feel weird or wrong or bad about any of these things. It really takes understanding your intentions. And before I even started doing these live streams, I already had worked on it for about for almost a year straight. I was working on setting good intentions, and these weren't even just like intentions that I didn't even have previously. These were just realizing the concepts of my good intentions on paper before I even started doing all this. So I know that I'm not harming anyone even subconsciously. Just so that I can make sure, I mean, people will feel hurt regardless, but that's because they're hurt already and they need to be able to realize that so that they can get out of that. So ready to love again. Oh, that's just, oh my God, it's bouncing. So you've healed from the past enough to open your heart to new love. So yeah, so once you do have forgiveness, once you do release all those repressed energies, repressed anger, repressed feelings and animosities towards either different cultures or technically just Nazism in general, this idea that we all have to, there's a right or wrong type of culture needs to like stop. Like I said, we all come from the source. Yes, there are rights and wrongs that are grounded inside the world. Like killing isn't that good. Like, regardless, it's really harsh and it's not up to us. I would rather keep someone alive. Like, honestly, and it kind of is a little more like dark, you know what I mean? Like, to someone's going through a really rough period, I would, or like, and they've done something really terrible. I would rather they go through what they're going through so that they can be able to go through their journey appropriately as God intended it in the first place. If they're about to harm anyone, we do have facilities that provide the space for them to be able to, be fine. That's why I always tell people to look for psychic healing, psychological healing, for a lot of repressed anger healing, and more so a lot of like psychological help, therapists. The world was created for you to be able to really help yourself grow and evolve. And then you have, okay, easy does it. Your health, happiness, and abundance require a gentle approach to life and work. So, yeah, so growing up, I was always in very harsh environments and had to learn very harsh lessons. So now I'm trying to, and I'm really working on this, okay? So, I have already gave my apologies. So, for not being as gentle as people want me to be. I am Russian after all. I was born there, so I'm a little more strict with myself, but that does cause a lot of like animosity as well. Like it causes a lot of just built up resentment to just keep building. So really being gentle with yourself. And I'm still learning this idea of being gentle. You know, I was never really that gentle with myself. So, you know, take it as it resonates. Not all of us know all the answers, so maybe you know the answer more than I do, but let's see. Yeah, own your divine power. Replace codependent people pleasing with an assertiveness and empowerment. I've said this a lot on this channel already. Being assertive, see, like that's my challenge. How are you both assertive and what'd you call it? What is it called again? Gentle. Let me see. Empowered and gentle. Gentle empowerment. Yeah, deep emotional healing now. So your heart is ready to heal from the past experiences and you're willing to devote time and energy toward therapeutic care. Okay, so self-care, devotion and timing. So working on divine timing is what I'm feeling. So right now that's really what we're doing. So understanding the relativity of divine timing, cultural connections, and the combination of that and our healing process. As we're inside the golden age right now, we're all healing. All of us are healing. And so yeah, so let me look onto so I'll put up the oracle really quickly. So some Gaia oracles, I'll put up 5 oracles so that I can be able to say some stories about them, and this will be individual stories for each one. So I will be doing readings like this, like little stories. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, so you're gonna see it later, and they're gonna be short and edited this time. This time. I didn't think that I was gonna do this today. Wow. Divine really just gives me shit to do, like tasks to do, so that I can keep some things in my mind occupied. I find this very therapeutic on my side. Like, I hope people are enjoying this, at least whoever's watching this. Oh, okay. There we go. We have the first one, and then let's do some more. So this is going to be now time. So we're going to have, please, can you give us a story of the past that we need to know? Past story that we need to know. So this is going to be the now time story. Past story that we need to know. Something of the past that we need to know. Something of the past that we need to know. Something of the past that we need to know. Okay, and then something of the future that we might need to know that's coming up. Something of the future that we might need to know. General energies as we move forward that we need to know. General stories of the future that we need to know. General stories of the future that we need to know. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. Actually, too much. Let's get one more. Well, just one story of the future. Oh, man. Okay, perfect. So, so we have 3 future cards here, and then 1 now time space card that we need to work on, and these are going to be the stories that I'll be saying for today. So, it's just going to be really quick, and I'm going to be using the ethereal visions tarot deck cards for these. So the story of the past is of fear, doubt, and moving out to the world and apprehension. So right now I'm seeing us being in a stagnant energy, kind of reminding me of like a butterfly in a cocoon energy, kind of just being very still, letting the world grow around us, and kind of just, it's kind of like you can see the dark energy brewing as we are kind of like the middle. It reminds me of Gaia herself as she's on Earth with all the waters, even though this is not really water, but you can remind us of like lava, and this is how the world was really born. So you have this kind of like her hair covering the ground, and it's like this ground being built upon here drying out, and all this like negative energy, and that's where it's all rooted within. And then there she is bringing light as she consumes this negative energy and bringing it into this beautiful glory, beautiful, like, oh my god, I just keep saying beautiful, just that's just how I feel about it. Yeah, the hermit here, being able to see within the darkness, be able to bring the light within the darkness. With, I'm really paying attention to the wand here, being inspired and the way he's holding it, be inspired by the divine, making sure that we are taking care of the way that we see ourselves. And this is really the story of someone who is really focused on finding out the inner depths of their fear, trying to move along, to be able to really find their truth and clarity. And I'm really paying attention to the two swords in the Five of Swords energy. So you're being kind of constantly, like, you can see him like brooding upon his journey, being like, what did happen in the past? What was it that was scaring me? How can I find this clarity? How can I move forward? And this person, what did they do? What did this hermit do? So yeah, they took upon a kind of like a stormy, what I'm seeing is a stormy subconscious reality. So like almost like taking it upon themselves to grant the universe with whatever they can, even if it wasn't enough, even if they felt like it wasn't enough, even if they weren't sure how it was gonna be. They just really, this person or whoever it is, or this person really took it upon their hearts to follow the direction they feel is going to be of faith. That's what I'm seeing, taking a leap of faith in this direction. And there were like, there's this sorrow that was there before. My heart, oh my god, my heart is really like cracking right now. It's like hurt and pain and just so much like holding on, so much fear, like really like trying to find their light, trying to find their truth, but feeling like they don't have enough to give. And then eventually building strength, slowly building strength, taming that lion, you know, instead of even taming it, but almost befriending it, almost making like acknowledging the presence of it, so that we can live within this infinite energy of love and stepping out of that visual reality. So we're seeing here, it's like the reality, they're seeing the skies and the stormy waters, and then these people always like looking over there, being like, oh, what is that? What are these stormy waters? And being so curious with it. But then this is the hermit guy, paying attention to what is within, trying to see what they're trying to find, this journey within, and really taking it upon themselves. Because now you can see the background over there is, look at all that is out there, and through the eyes they can see their strength, through their inner strength, finding the power to face their fears and face their doubts. And sorry. Facing their fears and facing their doubts, and finding out the truth about, yes, finding out the truth about this, of their emotions, and getting almost like a divine understanding, a divine blessing, and understanding this new, you can see this eagle on top here, and them being like accomplishing this emotional understanding of their wisdom, emotional understanding of their journey, understanding what it is that they're supposed to be doing. And oh my god, I didn't even notice until now the water lilies. I love water lilies. Actually, I have a book coming out called Water Lily. So what'd you call it? And you can find, what'd you call it, the true blessing and beauty of a new journey inside a water lily. If you don't know what a water lily means within the spiritual universe, I would really consider looking it up. It's one of the most amazing, I don't know, to me, when I write my book, oh, people are gonna be so excited. But yeah, when it's like you can see these clouds, and like, yeah, like a divine grant of understanding that they got, and it really helped them build this energy, build this strength. And I'm looking at this white horse right here, which is signifying to me, or personally signifying like Oh my God, it's like a divinity, cause I do represent a lot of like the feminine line, including Athena, regardless of where she was born from. Um, you have the story of Medusa being killed, and what you call it? I'm pretty sure that's where the twin flame journey came upon. So they killed this temptress and this person who had been tempted and fell into temptations and didn't stand up for themselves before and was fooled, and now that that person was killed, what was born from her body was the Pegasus. If you don't know the story, then it's the Pegasus and the beautiful, the golden sword, I think. And that's what I'm really paying attention to here, is kind of this beautiful white horse and the sword here of clarity. And the two work together to be able to bring the divine into light, bring the divine into this darkness. And the knight, who now has this, the eagle previously that brought a different perspective, a different view from above, a more higher view of their divine power, of their emotions, of their blessings, and use the sword of truth to be able to push forward with the strength of the knight, the impulsivity and the forward journey. And you can really see the angel wings protecting here, protecting this knight, and guiding them through this journey forward. And that's really the story of this apprehension here, is that once you come out of that energy and really reflect within, it's a beautiful path forward. You have the chance to be able to really take it upon yourself to follow your, yes, to follow what it is that you want to do. So you have the Eight of Pentacles energy here as well, is like nourishment, of nourishing yourself, nourishing your values. I said Eight of Pentacles, I meant Nine of Pentacles. Nourishing your divine journey, nourishing your power. And yes, maybe you're missing that one pentacle, but it's all right, because before, remember, you were the Five of Swords. Before, it was the Five of Swords, and now it's this new veil being broken up until to realize just the potential of energy and power and love that you have within yourself or within others that exist. Ooh. All right. And now that we're done with that, we're going to move on to another story, and these are going to be the three stories. So I'm going to assign them to the Weird Sisters, if you watch Sabrina. It's also the Fate Sisters, the Sisters of Time. So we have that's ooh. So we have the Past, the Temptress, seduction. That's so funny that I said the Temptress. I did not look at the cards before I flipped them over. I just flipped them over in front of you. So we have the Temptress, which was the past, seduction, deceit, a broken promise, and then you have purification for the present, which is the bare essentials, the naked truth, the wholeness, and it says fire. So it's kind of like the now of it all. And then we have, which is of the future, of destiny. So we have past, which is, if you don't know the weird sisters, or the sisters Urt, and sorry, I forgot the last one, Faye, I don't know. So I had a little, like a little thing here. So the, what do you call it, these sisters represent parts of our journey. So you have the future, and the future is healing, so reconnecting with your true nature, almost going back to the source. And so what is this Temptress trying to tell us? What is the story between here and the timelines that we're seeing? What is this timeline? Okay, yes, so we have a broken heart, Three of Swords energy for that Temptress. You have a broken heart, kind of, yeah, you have a broken heart for that Temptress energy. The Hierophant, wow, for the purification. That is so beautiful, magnificent. So what I really paid attention to here is the kind of cross here, and the hand, I don't think you can see, but the hand that's pointing towards the higher divine powers, and the use of the steam kind of cloud energy. They're sitting on the cloud, and then you have this fire over here in earth, and it stands just like this. So you can really tell you can really tell how this is just, oh my God, so beautiful. And the number is 14, which is 122. So those are very powerful numbers for me. 1212. And so for healing, we're connecting with your true nature. The number is 33 for a master number. So you're moving from a temptress energy, so a 15, so 1, 5, which is 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, you see, like it's a step by step to a 1, 2, and 2. So starting of a journey, and then a dual, substantial, like a 2 and 2, you know, and then 1. If you know numerology, you know what I'm talking about. And then you have 33 for a master number. And let's see what this is signifying for us. Yes, 6 of Cups. Oh, and I'm really paying attention again to the kids here. The beginning of a beautiful, like a, if you've ever seen like a child's innocence, that's really where we're going back into the innocence that it is, our naivety of this universe, just how much we have no idea about this world and just how magnificent and beautiful it really is. It's so hard for us to comprehend, which is why we had that healing card and lesson card of imagination. It's like, it's beyond that. It's beyond our imagination, but our imagination is in itself so amazing. The fact that, like, to me, seeing how people imagine things, like first of all, why would you imagine dark things? I would never want to imagine dark things, which is kind of my problem. My imagination is in a really dark concept right now, which is why I'm bringing my imagination to the light right now, so that I can be able to bring more light things, because I had to create a foundation. For those who don't know, my imagination was real dark, so I'm moving it now more towards the light. So, which is where this healing is really from. I don't even think I need to speak more about this, because, like, all I can say is that you have this temptress energy. You have the eye watching, seeing what this temptress is doing compared to what you're doing. And the truth is that there is a lot of heartbreak, but there is healing within this heartbreak. There is healing within here. And it's the truth is that it's not going to be continuous. You don't always have to break your heart over the temptations that you have. You can heal your heart from even thinking that you can fall into temptations. Like, that's super important. Thinking that this is not just a test, thinking that this is not just your journey, thinking that you are going to be somehow harmed or being harmed currently, so that you can be able to push yourself past this boundary of pain and realize there is a bigger lesson to learn. There is a bigger power that's trying to teach you here. There is something more to this than just what it seems, more than the watering of your mouth that's seeing the apple of the forbidden fruit. You know what I mean? There is more to that. The watering of your mouth and the temptation that you feel to bite this apple in itself is a lesson, and you don't have to go along. If you had just asked, if you had just prayed, if you could just ask, why are you, so you can get this healing from this temptation. And this is where the Hierophant comes in, so that you can be able to purify your soul, purify your heart from these temptations, purify yourself from having this addiction mindset. I feel like someone was recording, from having this addiction mindset where it's like codependency and apprehension and fear and doubt and worry, and being like, oh, now I hate the divine, because if it wasn't for the creations, then I wouldn't have fallen into this mess. No, it is about the journey. You, at the end of the day, made that decision. You have free will, and you can make that decision for yourself, and you can call up to the divine to be able to ask for help. It is okay to ask for help, you know, and that is why we purify our minds and bodies. And that is the naked truth. That is the wholeness of it all, is that we are children of the universe. We are just naive. And so then we have, yeah, the healing of the inner child. Look at that heart over there, understanding where it is we truly come from, like reconnecting with our true nature. Just in case you know, we know that the back in the day, in the way back civilizations, people actually used to do mitosis. I forgot. So we used to have human beings of the past, way past civilization, that actually just had a way to just kind of, you know, asexualize themselves, just kind of split into two separate beings, and then I imagine that other human beings would also split as well, and they would all combine to be able to create newer species of themselves, which is how we probably created a lot more of the abominations, which are still human beings. We can't be seeing them as abominations, for example, because we are all God's creations, including on this earth. So I would really recommend doing research. It is pretty mind-blowing and crazy, but I would really, do your research. Like, disprove me if you can. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's where we're at. If you disprove of my research, I would be very impressed, to say the least. I would be like, wow, we have a genius over here. So yeah. Oh, so this is the energy we're having for right now. The now time space of 54:44 on the clock, and it was 54:45 as well. So that's amazing. So we have this night wind again. So facing fear, subconscious release, and healing. So what is the story that it is of this night wind right now? Oh, okay. It is about the battles that we fight, whether inner conflicts or outer conflicts, really leaving it to the divine to decide on it, to give judgment on it, because you truly never know. You truly never know what is going on or why this is happening. Unless you do know, then that means that you are either the cause or the effect of it. You know what I mean? That's why I said you either know or you don't know. So if you know something, then you need to start speaking your truth. If you don't know anything, then leave it up to the divine and start doing your research, start going upon your journey, start moving upon your path. And so it is about, I'm seeing 5 people here, and it's about this like foundation or this like adaptability. So whenever we're having, for example, hormones, right? Whenever we're having a hormonal battle, it is kind of like a war of hormones or a play of hormones. It's because we are evolving, and sometimes it feels really conflicting and confusing, especially within a cultural combination. It feels very confusing and feels very conflicting. I mean, you have two completely different, it's like in-laws, you have two completely different scenarios here, and they're trying to form into one, but somehow, some way, there's still love. Like, love still exists. Like, for example, my father and my mother, maybe now they absolutely hate each other and they don't want anything to do with each other, and it's absolute mess, and it's literally terrifying. There's no reason to hate on those cultures. For example, my mom, or like my mom's family on my side, used to hate on my African culture, and my African culture used to hate on my mom's culture, but my mom and dad still made me. They still made me. I still like was born, and somehow, some way, I still have love, and I still have that appreciation for both cultures, and I'm able to bring that combination. Like, who would have thought that the Jewish Arabian culture of the Druids and whatnot could also combine with an African native voodoo culture of like dark magic and occultism, and then you have like the Masonic culture of like the African American. Oh, it's just so much, so it's just like a mixing brew of culture pot. Like, isn't that just like how does God do this? Isn't that just magnificent? Like, if we have such an imagination, imagine what kind of imagination God has, and then imagine how high that goes, and where does that come from? It's just like such an eternal, infinite loop of information, and we are just the final combination of all these mixtures and dimensions and cultures coming together. And yes, there will be conflict, Yes, in order for us to find peace, there needs to be some sort of like conflict resolution. Instead of a war, we should be having war resolution. Instead of like strategic planning on war, we should be having strategic planning on peace. How are we planning to piece things together? How are we planning to bring peace amongst all nation when everything feels so confusing and conflicting and scary? And really, it's about trusting divine in this one, really trusting our true nature, our true purpose, our true journey, and the reasons why we're here. So what is the story here between this? Yes, so it's about like what is the 7 of Cups, please? 7 of Cups energy always freaks me out. What is the 7 of Cups? Yeah, it's about understanding so what I thought. It's about taking off our mask and truly seeing it from a different perspective. Maybe this mask, like, what kind of mask is it? What kind of mask? Are we pretending to be human when we are human? Are we pretending to be snakes when we are snakes? You know, people need to be aware if they're a snake or not. They need to be aware that whether or not their fears are taking over their mind, because that's when your reptilian mind starts taking over, because we do still have these combinations within our bloodlines. We still do have these kind of doubts and fears that come from a specific place. So this is not necessarily about hate or not hate. We all have this combination for a reason. We can't really annihilate and remove everything we don't like, because we're not God. Okay, we're not God. We don't decide what it is that we need to suppress and remove. We decide how we reflect on these things and how we're called on to be able to appropriately digest the information that we're being given, whether it is from ourselves, from our higher selves, from the powers that be, from the environment that we're in, from the world, from our friends, from our family, from our parents, you know, even from like creatures and animals, you know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. I say that all the time to be able to pause and break. So if you hear, you know what I mean, then that's when your mind is like, do I know what she means, or am I confused? You know, that's literally that's the reason why I asked that question, is so your mind like figures it out, like where are you in the spectrum? um so yeah, so deaths of them are merely beginnings of new adventures. So let's see. Yeah, the end of all this sneaking around and walking upon eggshells and trying to figure out, is this right? Is this wrong? Well, as long as you follow your heart, how could it be wrong? You know, as long as you follow your higher self, how could it be wrong? It couldn't be if you don't understand it. That's the truth. So that's why you need to understand it. And that's why ignorance is not bliss. And that is why we study the things that we do not necessarily understand. We don't have to know everything, but we do need to feel like we're doing something that's making us happy. And whatever makes us happy when put with good intentions, it really does build the appropriate foundation for our future and the future of our children and the future generations that will exist beyond us. And this is not about, I don't want my kids to hate me. This is about, I want my kids to be happy, you know? And this is, sometimes we do need to look up to the moon and let go of whatever subconscious fears and insecurities that we have, and really look up to find the truth, to ask the moon to illuminate the night, so that we can be able to take upon our path even when the day is no more, you know? And it might feel like we're letting go of all this emotional baggage, but that's because if we keep holding on to those emotions, they will become corrupted. And this is a fact. If we keep holding on to the past so tightly, it will become corrupted. Our knowledge will become corrupted. We start hating on these things because we keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper into the values of these individuals. But the truth is that it is our intentions of their values that we need to understand. It is our intentions of the understanding of what happened. Columbus, maybe we didn't like what he did. We didn't appreciate what he did. Yes, there was a colonization. Yes, there was war. There was war and colonization and terrorism everywhere. Okay, everywhere. And child trafficking as well. You have land built on blood. Like, you know what I mean? We need to be able to really, truly see the intentions and see how we're going to be able to move forward from all of this. And this doesn't mean the people who did us wrong will not pay the price. In God's good graces, they will go through what they need to, because they too are on a journey. And we have the King of Wands energy here, which is showing like a natural light, natural leader here. The energy of those two lions, so the lions that I was talking about before, really, please clarify this King of Wands. Yeah, once again, the Ace of Cups is here, so really understanding our emotional value towards this new direction that we're trying to go to, and understanding that as a cultural mixing pot, yeah, King of Pentacles, we need to be able to, throat chakra, we need to be able to truly define ourselves within our own sights. instead of perceptions or perspectives, but within ourselves. How do we see ourselves? And we need to also remember that these things may change over time, so not to hold too tightly onto it, but also to be able to understand the free-flowing nature of our identities. Okay, we don't always have to be changing everything about ourselves, but if we want to be able to create a good foundation and groundwork for what we want in life, then yes, you can have permanent things. You know, legacies and legends are the way they are for a reason. So, yep, I think that is about it for that. And now let me just get some final lesson cards so that we can leave this place on a good note. Not that we didn't start with a good note. I'm lightheaded now. So, Crystal Angels, once again, please help bring clarity to the ending. What are some final words that we need to hear? Some final words that we need to hear. This is me shuffling it, by the way. Some final words that we need to hear on what's going on right now. I really shuffle it anyhow, and whatever pops out, pops out. Okay, prosperity, yay! There is a positive shift in your flow of divine support. Yay! Going with the flow here. And this is for malachite. So in case you wanted to know that, what kind of stone was there. I thought I saw something. let me see. What else? What are some lessons that we need to know today? Okay. Pride. We were just talking about those lines. I love myself and I see myself in everyone, okay? And then we have balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment, okay? And then growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. And look at these beautiful cards. Look at that. Oh my God. The sacred geometry of this really reminds me of, like, when I used to be Muslim, you would see a lot of this Islamic, paternic design, which I would also recommend people look into Islamic designs, because they're truly, the mathematics of God's creation is quite beautiful. Look at that. Math is very, very pure, very nice. Math, the discovery of math, oh my God. One of the greatest scientific discoveries of all time was math. Oh my Lord. Amazing. Interesting how they try to corrupt that too. See what happens? You don't keep things to its nature and all of a sudden it starts corrupting. Yeah, fear. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Adaptation, okay? Adapting, number 5, not number 999 or 666, okay? Number 7, number 5, and number 1. 1537, 1537, 1537, all right? And then 444. Purpose, I know what I'm here to do, okay? I know what I'm here to do. And for anyone curious, yes, I do know what I'm here to do, at least internally. And friendship, yes, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next